We had a good week of practice, like we normally do. Talked to the guys all week about just, going out and executing and being consistently executing properly. So I think we've had a good week. We fixed a few things that I was interested in fixing. Defensively in our run game, we've got to be able to stop the run, and then offensively, the details there, for fourth quarter. So questions?
Notre Dame has a lot of weapons to throw at you guys from a lot of different angles. What do you guys try to do to dictate the pace of the game defensively so that when they're trying to go to the weapons, you're kind of disrupting their rhythm?
Well, I'd like to say offenses usually dictate to the defense. We have to be we're reactive players, but you just got to change it up on defense. Whether you play different coverages, mixing it up, different blitzes that you think can get home. They do a lot of different stuff on offense. A lot of different personnel groups that we've worked this week, from 4 tight ends to no tight ends. Offenses usually dictate what they're going to do, but defensively we've got to be aggressive and show them some stuff maybe that they haven't seen yet.
How much time do you guys dedicate each week to maybe not installing, but just making sure that you have the new or different looks that you have to adjust to your week-to-week opponents?
We spend all week doing that. We spend all week that, whether it's new defense, new coverage, whatever it may be, that we can execute. You throw too much stuff in, and you can't execute, it doesn't matter. But I'd say more things are done with tweaking than changing. We're not going to change, but it's just tweaking little stuff. Hey, this week, remember we did like this last time. Hey, we're going to do this. It's just a little bit different corners. You got, whatever it may be, coverage-wise or front-wise.
I know you guys, coaches, work hellacious hours. And I'm not saying you should put in more time, but when you get in a situation like this, you find yourself saying, maybe I should go get another half hour of film or
I thought about that. I can't do any more. I'm getting like 5.5 hours of sleep a night. That's not good. You can actually, it's almost like you gotta say, maybe I should get home before 11 o'clock. But it's not healthy, and maybe it's counterproductive at times. You're making bad decisions when you don't have, I'm pretty fresh. I gotta work out early in the morning, I'm ready to go, but no, I wish we could spend another half hour. I don't know if it comes down to that. It's a great question though, Jerry, as always. I thought it's weird I'm talking about the hours, I'm looking, and I probably put another 15, 20 minutes in, what am I doing? This is not good. So it's funny, I was thinking about this week, what else can I do?
What have Sebo and Shane added to your program?
Just two really quality guys. Where they came from, where they've been. Obviously we know they started in South Bend, but they're just two quality guys. And Sebo's come a long way from where he was when he first got here. So I'm proud of him. Shane's been the same guy every day since he's got here. So you bring different guys in, and they come in at different stages in their life and different maturities, but I'm happy with both those guys, and hopefully they play emotional on Saturday, going back to where they came from.
But does it help?
What are you sitting over there for? You're supposed to be sitting over there. Changing it up? Changing the
Position. I'm trying to keep you on your feet. Actually, mix coverage up. I don't want you to expect
I like that. I like that.
But it's pressed. I'm playing off a little bit this week. I was pressed the other week. Does it help in a way when you're coming off such an emotional loss like that? Does it help that you're playing somebody like this to kind of get guys?
Maybe. I think as coaches we got to get them turned around, but I think knowing that what you're facing helps, and where you're going is going to be helpful. If we're coming back in to play Wofford after that, maybe to your point. But I would hope either way they'd be hungry to get another win, regardless of who's going to be in front of them the next week. That'd be my attitude. I could care less who it is. Does it make it a little bit more enticing? Yes.
When you go into a place like that, it's got a reputation as being one of the great college football stadiums in America. Do you want the players to sort of embrace that to feed off of the environment, or you want to just kind of pretend this is just?
I think so. I think anytime you're on national television with NBC, you're going to play Notre Dame, and I would think guys would be pumped up for that. I think you got to use that to your advantage.
Did you do anything special to kind of prepare them for an environment like that?
Nope. Especially if the stadium's not going to be out there, we go out and do what we normally do right out there on the field. Play their music, play some noise, try to be loud.
One of the things you've done to try to get things back on track is getting your offensive line healthy again. One of the biggest things.
Is getting it, or
I'm assuming that most of the guys are healthy now. Because I think Jabogi played and Cradle played right last week.
Yeah.
I mean, that's one of the biggest things to get things back.
Gonsalves is not back. It would be key to get everybody back healthy. It would help, no doubt about it. So, but they're not all back, obviously, as you know. So, and are they 100% no? So we're gonna have to buckle up and go.
How many?
You've given up once, or Christian's been sacked once in the last 2 games. Though, is that stat reflective of how they've played? Do you feel like they've blocked well enough to only give up 1 sack in 2 games?
I think they played well enough to prevent the quarterback from getting hit. I also think Christian's done a good job, and Coach Signetti's done a good job of getting the ball out and doing different stuff just to get the ball out of his hands quicker, knowing what we're dealing with. And we'll have to do the same thing this week as far as just being smart with when and how, what we do with Christian back there.
What has Christian been like week to week in practice now that he's been the starter? Have you seen him kind of spend more time in the film room, do different things? Do you catch him in places you're like, well, what are you still doing here? What's he like?
Yeah, he's not here as late as Jerry and I am, but last week again, I'm all over the place. I'm not walking around the facility, walking in different rooms. Last week I noticed, and I always tell you like it is. Last week I noticed him in that receiver room. They even got a Canadian. If you guys walk down the hallway and you peek in the receiver room around the corner, they got a Canadian flag in there for him, I think. I did not see him in there. That doesn't mean he wasn't in there. I just don't walk through, so I can't tell you. I walk around to see who's. I'm busy working and not shopping around to see who's in the building. But I'm sure he's doing the same thing he did last week or more.
How's Lovelace trending, and do you think you might be able to have him this weekend?
Jerry Jr.
Someone had to do it.
Same age as my kids, so he couldn't.
That was an availability question, not an injury question.
I feel good with where he is, but like I said, when you got guys that are a little bit banged up, how many snaps can they get you, and how long does that last? But I feel like he maybe gives a play or two.
Notre Dame's a team that can hit you with receivers and tight ends that are athletic and skilled in different ways.
Big, tall.
Right. How do you guys, your cornerbacks usually take away the top 2 or 3 options for a team, but this is going to call on also your safeties to be just as ready to win one-on-one matchups all game long.
All day long. I mean, they're gonna take their shots. They like to run the ball. Again, it comes down to we better make plays on the edge, but we better stop the run first, or it could be a long day. And they're capable with that offensive line of the protection's good, and they can run the football, and they've proved that against everybody. So we're gonna have to stop the run first, which we have not proven we can do right now.
Are there big differences between a Notre Dame team coached by Brian Kelly versus one by Marcus Freeman?
Not until after I'll let you know after the game, but they're both great coaches. I mean, Brian Kelly's been a coach for a long time, head coach for a long time. So I can't tell you there's a big difference. I don't know what he does. As a head coach, I don't know if he's heavily involved with the defense. Al Golden's running that show. Probably it looks like. It's not like a Cincinnati defense was when Marcus was there, but I'm sure he's got his fingers in on it. But he hired Al to run the defense, and I think he's being a head coach.
Charlie talked to us about how. So when it comes to stopping the run up the middle, you guys are still pretty strong there. But when teams start to stretch it out wider, teams are finding more holes against you guys. What do you guys have to do better? He talked about his defensive ends needing to key better to hold down the edge. What do you guys have to do as a collective to do better in those situations?
Well, again, it's 11 guys. Whether it's a crack replace with a corner and a safety, we'll start on the edge. But I think our linebackers are going to do a better job of attacking downhill and hitting the right gaps. I think we hesitate at times at linebacker. We're trying to be perfect, and by being perfect, we're not executing. We're not being as physical as we need to. So we're going to have to be more physical against this physical offensive line and tight end group that we're facing this weekend, and we got to go make plays. And I'd like to see our linebackers go make more plays.
What have you seen from Sam Hartman? Is he similar to what he was back in 2021? You faced him in the ACC championship game, or is he a bit different now that he's?
I think he's different. Obviously, he's in a different offense, so he's got to be different. I mean, he's a play action pass. He's handing the ball off a lot more than he is. He's not riding it into the line of scrimmage. Although you still see some times where he's got great patience in the pocket. And I think having that defensive line collapse on him and he's sitting in a little tunnel, throwing the ball, he still shows elements of that. He's calm in the pocket. He doesn't get antsy in the pocket right now. Not near as much as I guess he never did. Just I think because of what he came from. But you're seeing play action pass and him taking shots more. So I think it's a totally different offense that he's adjusted to pretty well.
Notre Dame typically recruits sort of a similar area to you geographically. do you find when you play teams like that, you end up going down the roster and you're like, you see guys that you recruit, you're like, oh, that guy, that's where he ended up, or that's what he's doing. Do you have some familiarity with, I mean,
Some
Notre
of the
Dame, but
guys.
also just in general?
Yeah, I mean, geographically, you know, they recruit the entire United States. So I wouldn't say geographically. I mean, we've got our spots that we're going to go, and we're not going out. They're nationwide, I would say, so I would say their recruiting based on our recruiting is totally different. We got our pockets we're going to work in. We're not going national. They got California. I mean, they're one of the top receivers from California, so it's like, you know, and he's a freshman, so they're going all over the place to get their guys.
Bubba scored, I think, what, 3 games in a row now on big plays for you guys. How have you seen him maintain throughout the year as the passing game was finding itself and also stepping up now that the passing game is starting to catch traction?
Bub's doing a nice job. And he's, you know, Bub's consistent. You know, you get the same guy every day. In practice every day, Bub works his tail. He sweats like crazy. He hadn't stopped sweating. He hadn't stopped working hard in practice. And we get the same thing on game day. He's a guy that you can count on it, you know, every Saturday.
How about a couple more? I apologize, we do have an abbreviated session today because of another commitment, but 2 more?
Cradle got some snaps at right guard last week. I mean, how do you feel about where he is with everything in returning, and what do you think of his performance from last week?
You know, Jake did a nice job. He did a nice job, you know, coming in, and I think he's feeling a little bit better this week than he felt last week. So, we'll keep working on it.
We talked to a lot of people this week, and one thing I wanted to see, like, how much are they balancing looking at Hartman film from the last time he played Pitt versus all this season? And a lot of your players are saying we're focused on what he is right now. How attuned do you feel like your defense is to what he's doing now versus when he was in an RPO offense?
Yeah, I mean, if we're focused to what happened in 21, we're nuts. We're not focused on that at all.
Mm-hmm.
Why would you be? It's a totally different offense. We defend offense. We don't defend people.
Mm-hmm.
So we're defending, you know, Hartman at Notre Dame and what they do offensively. It's a totally different offense. You're going from an offense that's, you know, normally, you know, 93%, you know, one personnel grouping 11, and what they do is just the same thing. With little tweaks every week. We're facing a team that's a multiple pro style. You're going to see 2 offensive huddles, which I think really what college football is starting to go back to what we are offensively and what Notre Dame is. You see a lot more people going 12 personnel. They're going 13 personnel. They're going 14. And again, for everybody here, 14 means, you know, 1 tailback and four tight ends. They've got, you know, some really good personnel at every spot.
How much work is
Last
still?
one.
How much work is still getting that tight end? Does he have a future at that position at the next level if he wants to?
You know, that's not for me to decide what he's doing, but he's, you know, he wants to play a little bit over there, and you know, he's still doesn't have a position change, but you know, he's played on kickoff return. He's on the punt team. He'll play anything. He's going wherever we can, you know, get him in.
Okay, Coach, thank you.